Hello, loves. This is M. Rain, your magical mystic, owner and founder of Magical Mystic LLC Divinity Academy, and the TV personality behind Moments of Mindfulness that airs on KRD Fridays at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. So, having said all of that, also the author of best-selling book Spiritual Gangster. Most of you, of course, already know me, but there's always that chance there's someone listening for the first time. So, what I want to talk to you guys about today is that fine line that exists between independent study and getting the help that you need, right? There are so many, when I say a plethora of options when it comes to your spiritual development and spiritual study. And before you tune me out, I'm not trying to sell nothing that I sell. Okay, this has nothing to do with me being your mentor. I'm not gonna lie. These days there are more people calling for me than I have time for. Nevertheless, I do have to address this issue. So it doesn't really matter how far you go up the wrong, up the ladder. At that same time, there always needs to be some level of accountability, some level of continued study. There are going to be periods of time where you will be doing independent study. There will be periods of time where you really do need a mentor or a trainer, or at the very least an accountability partner. Now, one of the things that I tell people is this: if you have been stuck in a rut for quite some time, because these are the three ways you know whether or not you need a mentor. And I'm only doing this video because a lot of people hit me up that want me to mentor them. They don't need mentorship. They need a session. Okay, so we do a wealth session or a business session, and then that be it. And then there are other people who hit me up. They really do need a mentor. They have a question, but they need help. Continued help. So the way you know is, the first question is, have I been stuck in this rut for quite some time? Have I been battling with this same condition or the same circumstance for a considerable amount of time? Have I really given myself to situating or handling this situation, dealing with whatever this is, and putting it to rest, and yet hadn't gotten any relief? If you've been working on something for 3 to 6 months and you hadn't gotten any relief, then it's probably time to call in someone who has an additional pair of eyes, who's going to see it differently. They're not as emotionally invested, so they can help you. That's a good time for a mentor, at the very least, a reading. Another time when you know you're ready for a mentor is when you have been studying everything out there and you've confused yourself. You don't know what of this applies to your life and what of this is just kind of nothingness. So you kind of like lost in the sauce. If you find yourself lost in the sauce, then of course that's a great time to have a mentor or a coach, or at the very least an accountability partner. Thirdly, people who know me know that sometimes I tickle myself because I can always feel when I'm about to stick my foot in it. Okay? And I know that I'm about to stick my foot in it, but we're going to stick it in there anyway. So if you are one of those people who you just not a self-starter, you are not going to hold yourself accountable. You are not going to get up every day and do what you need to do. You're going to find an excuse every which way you can to not do the work. Now, I'm going to say this. Even though you would benefit from having a mentor or a coach, the reality is you still got to find someone who actually pulls that trigger for you. And that can't be permanent. At some point, you have to find it within yourself, or find the ability within yourself to engage fully in your life and to stay engaged. Because if you don't, your results are still going to be hit and miss. What do you want to do? Pay a mentor for the rest of your life? Pay a coach for the rest of your life? And then I say that and I'm like, well, I've been paying coaches and mentors for quite some time, and I don't plan on stopping to some degree, because I believe in continuing my education. But that's just a personal choice. That's me deciding that I want to always be inspired to grow. And so, Bixby get on my nerves, y'all. And so one of the things that's real important for you to consider is whether or not you want to develop spiritually. And why do you want to develop spiritually? For some people, it's because they want to improve their health, they want to improve their quality of life, or they want to improve their finances. And all of those things are legitimate. For some people, they just want more knowledge. They want to feel personally empowered, right? And that's a legitimate reason as well. And for yet other people, it's just something different. It's like, I'm through with church and I'm through with the mosque and I'm through with all of these things, but I don't want to be completely through with the ideology of God and spirituality. And so it's literally a hobby. Depending on why you're in it, that's going to say how you need to proceed. Now, I'm going to give you guys 3 more tips. Okay, and this is just my suggestion. You have to go about making your own decision as the divine and autonomous being that you are. If you are getting readings, don't jump and get a reading from everybody that's offering. Not even the freebies, the for donation ones or whatever. If you really want a reading, invest in a reading with someone who really can read your circumstance and give you some insight on what maybe needs to be your next step. If you go out and you get 20,000 readings from 20,000 different people or 15,000 different people, you're going to bring about confusion in your life. Now, a lot of it will be confirmation, but all of it won't. And if you already don't know what to think and you already don't know what to do, you don't want to bring that into your life. If you get a reading, get busy after that reading, dealing with whatever it was that came up in that reading. Once that's done, now you can get an additional reading. Guys, I see a lot of people going broke for readings. It has been people who have borrowed money to get readings from me, and I didn't even know it. But I had one client who was getting readings twice a week, every week. I looked up and we had been doing this for 4 months. And I was asking her, why are you calling me today? What made you, and this is now something I ask everybody who books a reading with me, what made you decide to get a reading? Because if you didn't come for anything, how will you know if you got what you paid for? I need you to think about why you talking to me. Because I ain't got time to waste and neither do you. You don't have money to waste. I don't have time to waste. Why are we here? So be clear and be concise and find you a person or 2 or maybe 3 who can assist you. Now, there are some people who do synastry reports and they help you see if this is the person for you in astrology. And then you got other people who give you a numerological reading, and then you got other people who read your chakras and your energy and this and that. And those are 3 different things and they can all work together. But when you just, from reader to reader to reader to reader, you don't have any clarity, you're wasting money and you're burning through what could potentially be an investment into the new business you ought to be starting. Okay? My second tip. Be careful about rebellion. Somebody say, oh, shit. Well, let me explain. You can never really rebel against anything but yourself. So be careful about behaving a certain way and saying a certain thing because you're in rebellion to this popular opinion or this fad or that trend or what everybody else in your life think you ought to be doing. You don't need to do something different to disprove anybody. I meet 60% of the people I meet, I'm going to say it like that. And that's probably undercalling it. At least 60% of the people I meet really are over here trying to prove something to somebody, and they got themselves in a bad circumstance because they're in rebellion to this prior relationship and all these things that were thought. It don't matter what other people have said or what other people think. Whenever you're getting ready to make decisions for your life, including independent spirituality and everything that comes along with that, let that be for you because you really want it, because you see what you could do with it and how you could be benefited, because you love it, because, but it needs to be related to you and not the world. Don't let rebellion be your reason, okay? And then lastly, no matter how many times you've read about a thing or heard about a thing, don't let yourself fall into this trap of, oh, I heard that before. Oh, I already understand that. I already know. You preaching to the choir, right? Because I'm going to tell you something I know as a person who literally, it ain't no saying, got it out the mud, who had to pull myself up by the bootstraps doing everything that I teach now. You don't know it until you can apply it, and that application yields some results. Did you hear me? You don't know it until you can apply it, and that application yields some results. I've heard about meditation. I heard that before. I heard that, but you're not meditating, so you don't know meditation. You've heard it, but you don't know it. Oh, I've heard about this. I heard it. I read that book, and I know that book, and I can quote this book, and I can quote that author, and I wrote that thing, and I did this thing, but are you practicing? And has it done anything in your life? Don't let yourself get tired of hearing something you hadn't mastered yet. Because 9 times out of 10, you're going to get tired of your answer. The answer is always the simple things. The foundational things give rise to the great stuff. It is because I meditate, because I do trance state, because I practice visualizations, because I do mantras, and because I do affirmations that I became a multi-millionaire. Yeah, I've been doing work and this and that. Everybody working. You know what I'm saying? It was the addition of those things. It was through doing those things that I was able to heal myself, pull myself into alignment, yada yada. It's because of that I'm able to flow money through my life at the millions of dollars, level, and growing. It is the basics. Everyone wants to sell you some complex procedure, and a lot of people want to buy a complex procedure because if it's really that complicated, now I got a good excuse why I hadn't had it before now. As a person who have tried it all, the answer is always simple. So until you have mastered the activity of the knowledge to the degree where it's yielding you some results, then you don't know it. And it's better to approach life like I know nothing and I seek to learn as much as I can than it is I already know, can't nobody tell me nothing, right? Now I have sometimes a can't nobody tell me nothing attitude, but it's not from the perspective of learning. It's more or less, once my mind is made up, that's my mind, is my life, I'm going to do what I've decided to do once my mind is made up. However, when it concerns teaching me something, I'm open. I don't care who's doing the teaching. I am open to learn. I am open to teachers. I'm not open to, this is not a democracy though about my life decisions. And that is the difference. And I found the need to clarify that today and to put this beautiful video on YouTube because there are so many people who are really truly lost in the sauce. They don't know which way to go. And everybody got these strong opinions and they done tried it all, but they don't really know what fits them. They don't know if they need a mentor. They don't know if they need a reading. They really don't know what they need. And so this video is for you, and know that you are loved. I hold space for you coming into your power, understanding who and what you are and why you are. Okay? Y'all have a fantastic day and know that you're loved. Visit me online at magicalmystic.com. That's MAGICKAL mystic.com. DivinityAcademy.com for all your occult and metaphysical class needs. And you can check me out at mrain.com to learn more about me and what I do, who I am. And lastly, you can always watch our show, Moments of Mindfulness, if you have Hulu, even if you're not in the Louisiana area. KARD, Fridays at 4 p.m.